Hey folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Second video of the day. Earlier on I had the pleasure of speaking to my good friend and esteemed boxing coach Julian McGowan. We spoke about the upcoming Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn fight. If you haven't seen it yet, I recommend you take a look. You'll get some analysis that, dare I say, some other channels skips over. Anyhow, this video is about a fight that I really hope doesn't take place. Social media is abuzz with the presumed fact that Anthony Joshua, former two-time unified heavyweight champion of the world, is finalizing talks to enter the ring against none other than Jake Paul, the master marketer, famous promoter, a man who's done a lot for female boxing, if that's an aspect of the sport you like, and I suppose boxer of some sort. Well, my thinking of this, of course, is that this is worthy of ridicule. Absolute nonsense fight should it take place. As ridiculous as the Jake Paul Tank Davis fight was going to be. That fight, thankfully, has been cancelled. So I've read. Anthony Joshua is 6'6", around 18 stone or so, a big guy, anywhere, I guess, from 260 to 280 or something like that. Olympic gold medalist, former heavyweight champion of the world, unified. Jake Paul couldn't beat Tommy Fury. No, that was some years ago. Maybe he's improved a bit. But Jake Paul has basically not fought anybody of any pedigree. He did fight Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is, 7 or 8 years younger than me. He fought a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. And many people suggest that Mike Tyson kind of was following a script. I don't know. I've got no idea. It was a horrible thing to watch, as somebody who grew up watching Iron Mike Tyson. On paper, Jake Paul should last less time than Francis Ngannou lasted against Anthony Joshua. Again, on paper, this is a thoroughly dangerous adventure for Jake Paul to even contemplate. Like, Anthony Joshua should be able to just, at the sound of the bell, walk to the middle of the ring and batter Jake Paul into submission. So, will this be some sort of exhibition? Is this some sort of glorified move around where Anthony Joshua will, throw a few half-hearted jabs and possibly an occasional right hand that's, neutered in some way? Will he have massive pillows on his fists? Will he have a hand tied behind his back? Will his legs be shackled? However it pans out, it's going to be a completely, either a massive mismatch, where those who dislike Jake Paul will have the pleasure, I suppose, of seeing Jake Paul dropped inside 30 seconds, or it'll be a travesty. It'll be something where it's entirely obvious that it's scripted or certain rules are in place to preserve Jake Paul's, very life, I suppose. What it really means to me, if it goes ahead, and like I say, I sincerely hope it doesn't, is that Anthony Joshua has given up on any legacy. If Anthony Joshua was to retire today, you could say he was one of the two best heavyweights out of Britain in his generation, the other, of course, being Tyson Fury. And he could point to his Olympic gold medal. He could point to his wins. He could point to his many achievements. And I believe his legacy would, down the road, be that of a very solid, decent heavyweight who rose possibly higher than many people would have expected him to. He's got many accolades, and people would pick holes in his CV, but hey, that's just the nature of the game, right? But if he goes ahead and fights Jake Paul, especially on the back of fighting Francis Ngannou, it is what? A arguably still top 15 fighter, former world champion, beating up on a novelty fighter, certainly a novice. How can that possibly enhance Anthony Joshua's legacy? At least with Francis Ngannou, you had the status of Francis Ngannou as a former world MMA champion, and Francis Ngannou had shown surprising, almost shocking ability in a fight against Tyson Fury. He actually dropped Tyson Fury. But in this case, none of those things will apply. Jake Paul is not a champion of anything. Jake Paul has not beaten any fighter of note. The only competitive fighter he got into the ring with was Tommy Fury, a fight which he lost. I think this would be bad for Anthony Joshua's possibly already tarnished legacy, and really bad for boxing. It's undoubtedly, if it goes ahead, it'll be good for Anthony Joshua's bank balance, and that's all it is. But I asked this question. I mean, Anthony Joshua's worth, what, hundreds of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of pounds, more money than he can ever spend. Like, sure, I get it. It's an opportunity to make another, 20, 30, 40 million dollars. But like at some point, surely you've got enough, right? The other thing is, I believe he might be under contract to fight on DAZN cards, whereas Jake Paul appears to have this relationship with Netflix. So maybe that legal issue will prevent this ridiculous fight from proceeding. Anyhow, at the risk of repeating myself, I should stop, otherwise it will just turn into a rant. If it does go ahead, no doubt it'll be on some sort of pay-per-view, which I will not buy. And if it does go ahead, I'm not going to comment on it, because really I just don't want to be feeding this beast. To me, it would be a ridiculous fight. It would be harmful to Anthony Joshua's legacy, and I think it would be bad for boxing. This is like pro wrestling. It won't be a competitive sporting event. There'll either be some rules in place that prevent it from being so, or there'll be some sort of backroom arrangements which we won't be told about, and we'll all be gaslit into believing that, oh yes, this is a real serious fight and a warm-up for a future fight with Tyson Fury. I'm not buying it, figuratively or literally. But let me know what you think. Do you think there's any merit whatsoever to Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul meeting in the ring? Let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Please like if you can, share if you want, subscribe please. Subscribers are good. And I do appreciate all those who've most recently subscribed as well. Thank you for watching. Most importantly, have a fabulous day. Cheers. Bye-bye.